We're still in a fix. President Obama at VA Hospital in Arizona today telling vets things are getting better. But don't tell Lori Volkman, a military wife and lawyer, who says the new rule changes will actually make things worse. Lori, I want to get into that, but how are you doing? I mean, it wasn't that long ago we were chatting, and I think your military wives and spouses, their computers were hacked and threats were going out specifically to folks like you. Have they ever gotten to the bottom of that?
You know, I haven't heard anything back, and I don't necessarily expect to hear anything from the FBI. That's their investigation at this point, and I didn't receive any more messages. But I know some of the other women did, so they're still looking into it.
Yeah, because we should just let people. It was really some suspected ISIS or just bad guys, period, who were actually creepily going after the spouses of those at service. Your husband is serving abroad. That was unsettling, to put it mildly. Lori, what's unsettling to you right now is our treatment of veterans, and particularly a provision that we used to allow when we fix things up that we've now stopped or disallowed. Explain.
Yeah, so it is actually allowed right now. There's a pension, and that's an odd name for it, but there's a benefit, an earned benefit for wartime veterans when they turn 65, and the VA is changing the rules to basically convert that from an earned benefit into what amounts to a welfare system.
Explain.
Well, there's currently a limit on income. This is a baseline determination that's made over the course of a veteran's lifetime. So, you know, if they are in need of some health care and they want to get this stipend, their income and assets are going to be looked at more or less on a sliding scale. The VA wants to create a bright line rule, which would be more strict than current Medicaid guidelines.
Well, why couldn't they, if they're going to do something like that, why not grandfather it in or stagger it in stages?
Right, and that's really the argument, is that this is an earned benefit, and applying it this way will be retroactive. These are our World War II, Korean, and Vietnam vets. They're going to be hit first and foremost, and they've already served. They've already spent their time and been promised this benefit. But the idea on this is cost savings for the VA, and that is a whole other story.
Well, what are they? The justification for this is what? That they're still going to get their stipend, but they might not get it as soon, and they might not get as much?
They're going to take an opportunity to look back into elderly veterans' checkbooks and see whether they've made any transfers that would qualify them for this benefit. This is something that's allowed now under Medicaid with a look-back provision, and they basically adopted a similar rule. What that means, though, is these veterans that are using a healthcare trust to pay for their healthcare expenses can no longer put that money into an account to pay for those things. So instead of being able to live in assisted living, they're going to be in Medicaid nursing homes.
But you know what's weird about this? Whether you want to bring in these type of cost savings down the road, that's fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine. But to do it to existing veterans without giving them a heads up, that's not so fine. But it comes on the heels, as you know, Laura, where they were taking this provision away in the VA fix that would have essentially given veterans a voucher to go to any hospital they wanted if the vet hospital where they're going to was either backlogged or whatever. Do they feel like they're getting kind of double whammied here?
You know, I haven't spoken to the VA directly, but I did contact some lawyers who practice in this area to see, you know, what the other side of the coin is, and they basically feel like they're closing a loophole to prevent fraud. The problem with that argument is there's existing mechanisms in the law already that other kinds of systems are using, where if you put that money in trust so that you can qualify for a benefit, that's fine. Just when you die, the money that the government paid has to be transferred back. But the reality is, no, there aren't any rich veterans that are using this. It's a very modest stipend, and the trust funds that they have are being completely exhausted to pay for health care. We all know how expensive that can be. There's no children of veterans that are getting rich from this benefit.
The wrong group to be playing these type of games with. Lori, thank you very much.